It's wonderful to have you all here for the Leadership Research Forum that's come to town. From people from very far north of the hemisphere and us in Australia to come together in one place. It's a very special occasion. So this is made possible because of the support of community childcare and Macquarie collaborating on it. So I'll say a little bit later, and we'd like to actually evoke the traditional welcome to country.
Hi, I'm Leanne, and I'm just going to give you a couple of bits and pieces before I hand over to Michael West, who's going to do our welcome to country. So thank you all for being here, and welcome to our international guests. It's wonderful to see you here, and this is a great day. We were surprised by the response to, well, we shouldn't have been surprised, but it was wonderful to see the response to this day, so it's fantastic. So welcome everybody. We'll talk a bit more about our collaboration a bit later. What I'm going to do is hand over to Michael West, who is a great friend of community childcare, and he's going to give us the welcome today. Michael, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Leanne. And I think what Manjula says there is pretty important, and I think the children, they are the most important thing in this world, our most valuable natural resource, because they'll be looking after us in the end, won't they? So we've got to make sure that they've got the right skills, the right education, and they can feel their dreams and aspirations, because it's just, life is like a cycle, isn't it? Everything is a cycle in life, and those who look after the children eventually will be looked after the children, won't they, when they grow up. They're the leaders of tomorrow, they're the elders of tomorrow, so it's important to remember that. We've got to, they're like sponges, and everything that they're exposed to and they take in, it's important. I always believe treating them with dignity and respect, and I think they're just very intelligent. You cannot underestimate children. Never underestimate children. They are quite intelligent. They copy from us, and it's important that we set good examples. That's what we have to do. Obviously where we are here is on the land of the Gadigal people of Eora Nation. And we are here where it all started, when you think about it, from Australia. 225 years ago, just down there in the harbour, there's some ships came through their head. They came down the bottom of Australia and then up, past the Bidjigal people and through those heads, and they would have come into Birrabirra in the harbour here, and then obviously we know where Manly is, Manly being named after physique, because we had a conference over there, and I explained that to Childcare Co-operative, that's why Manly's there, because of the KMA and Canigal people, because of the physique of the three clans over there, and it's a fact, it's not a joke, it's actually the fact. And Gadigal National Park's over there too. So that's named after the clan over there towards Palm Beach. You've also got, in the harbour here, you've got where we are is Gadigal, and obviously the other side of the river, the harbour. Imagine what it would have been like. I think it's important, I bought the education message stick today to reinforce about education, because it's so important. Being a leader is not only, being a good leader is not only being able to lead people, but it's also being able to follow people when need be. I think it's being able to do both. And to see people's strengths and to give them the opportunities to development. I think what being a strong leader is about is building capacity with those underneath you, so you do have a plan for succession and drawing on their strengths, so one person can't do everything. It's important you have understand your people and the right delegation for their skills that they do have, and help them develop their skills. As I said, I bought the one for education today. I think that's pretty important. Graham, Toomey and myself, we make these as Aboriginal men, and we make them as artists, and we make them as leaders in that, and we want to reinforce our culture and our traditions that have been here for more than 60,000 years. It's important that you understand your traditions and culture that's been passed down for tens of thousands of years. It's important you understand that. If you do not understand who you are, it's like a tree without roots. It's important to, that's what the elders say. So it's important to learn who you are. Everyone has great stories. It's important we share our stories. If we share our stories, you usually end up sharing some tears and some laughter, and that's how we make a connection with the rest of us in our mob called humanity. Because we belong to many mobs and tribes. We are tribalistic humans, aren't we? Unfortunately, we see the bad aspects of that sometimes in the news at night. And we also see the good aspects, but I think we really have to work on the good aspects. So what I've got here is I've got education. I'll get some of the people here to read out what's on here.
Housing.
Law. Health. Employment. And that the reason there I've got those for first is health, employment, housing, law and education are all symbiotic of each other. If you don't have decent housing, it's taken a while for the health department to realise that if you don't have decent housing, how can you actually concentrate on getting an education if your health is at risk? Just makes sense, doesn't it? And then other things on here, we've got
opportunities, knowledge, lifestyle,
Rights.
wisdom.
wisdom. So the point being is when Graham and I create this, we think in an Aboriginal context that education gives us opportunities, doesn't it? Gives us knowledge, but knowledge is only one of the steps on the path to wisdom. There's also experience is another component. And lifestyle. Everyone should be able to have the lifestyle that they want. And we put rights on there because we're having a talk now, all of us as Australians, about recognition of Aboriginal people in the Constitution and how our Constitution works. It's a discussion we've got to have. And when the Constitution was written, Aboriginal people didn't have rights. There was a stage there we were considered a missing link. And till 1967, we were still counted with the flora and fauna. My siblings were, I wasn't, because I remember the stolen generations. I grew up in middle-class white Australia in a sense, but I eventually found my family, my community, and that made the connection back. But it's not that long ago, is it? 1967. And I think it was officially taken off in the mid-90s. So we've come away, but we've got a long way to go yet. Also, we have on there understanding community and sharing, because it's about community, what everything is. You're a member of your community. It's important you build your community, you share your knowledge, you share your understanding. We share things and we create strong communities. I think in this age we've thought about building cities, but it's not just about infrastructure and the bricks and mortar, it's about the people within there. The undulating lines obviously represent a path and journey that we're all on. Concentric circles represent places and dots represent time. It's important too that we just have a moment of silence to pay respects not only to Gadigal of Europe, pay respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander traditional owners, elders and custodians of the past, present and future, and for you to consider and pay respects to your ancestors. It's important that we do that. That we do pay that respect. One day we're going to be ancestors and return to our mother, Earth. And also to think about the children in the world, because even now, right now, in Australia, we have Aboriginal kids or have a 13 years difference in life expectancy. But even now, around the world, the whole of the world, there's a lot of children that don't even have any opportunities. That we should be good, not only citizens of our community, but citizens of the world. So if we just have a moment of silence to pay respect to that, now family and friends that we lose over time, it's important that we remember them too. So if we just have a moment of silence to pay respects and a moment of reflection. We have the Georges, the Hawkesbury, Nepean and the Pacific. These are the aquatic boundaries of your nation. To any of my Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters out there, we warmly welcome you from the land, clan, tribe and nation you come from. And to all our brothers and sisters, and we are all brothers and sisters, we ultimately belong to one tribe, one mob, and that's humanity. We warmly welcome you from the land, community, neighbourhood and family you come from, wherever you come from in this little ball that we call planet Earth, we share floating through the ever-expanding cosmos. And wherever you trace yourself around this wonderful world that we share as humans. We welcome you here, respect each other, respect the land, respect our stories that we have to share, and let's share those stories, and it will make a difference. And coming together like this for conferences, and when you have your leadership conferences, and also the usual ones that community childcare cooperative has throughout the year. I know you do some great things. I'm lucky to participate in a couple of times, and sharing those stories and having a little bit of fun and learning from each other is what it's all about. So take the opportunity, turn the page.